I completely mapped up the intro.
Plank.
I completely mapped it up. Hang on a minute.
You plank.
this is, hang on. This is my first go at this. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Let me do it. Right, here we go. Right. There we go. Right, this time. Hey everyone, we're here and we're back with the Show and Tell show. Welcome aboard. We've got so many panel members tonight and welcome all. We've got me, Little History, Terry, Sprue and Glue. We've got Dragon, Lover 68, that's Connie. We've got Bold and Dangerous, one of the OG guys who helped me start this channel. Sparky, and Lindsay and MP. Welcome all. We are going to go through everyone's particular favourite model tonight. I'm completely fat for words now because I messed up the intro. So I think we're going to begin with Sprue and...
No.
You're not ready?
No.
Okay, let's go with Sparky then because brand new to the show. Let's do this and then bring Sparky into the big picture. Sparky, it's all yours, sir. Welcome aboard.
Hello, everybody. My channel is about building these airplanes here. I start with a pile of wood and I construct it into an aircraft like you see here. I've been working on this one. It's not 30 days old yet. I mean, this one went together rather quickly. There's a lot of complicated stuff that goes on in these airplanes. You have to be an engineer, a designer, an artist, a painter, a plumber. What happened there?
1 second, Sparky, I'm bringing you back.
I have about 15 of these here, so you say my favorite model. I really don't have a favorite model. This one here I flew this year at the National. Didn't do so well. I chipped the prop, and my nest was over in the first 10 foot, so it kind of killed the season. But that's the way it goes. I'll bring it off the wall here and show you. This one weighs 62 ounces. It's a remake of a classic airplane that I have. I have another one just like it, only a little smaller with a smaller engine. This is a PA-75, handmade engine by Henry Nelson, distributed by Randy Smith. And they're it's dusty, rather expensive.
Sparky, just for the guys who aren't aware or it's not on their radar of control line flying, what are they actually made out of?
Balsa wood.
So you have to cut and glue and shape everything yourself right from scratch?
Yeah, hang on just a second. I'll show you my average kit, how all these airplanes start out. And it'll kind of blow your mind. This right here is an airplane. Can you see it? I do. It's a stack of wood. This wood here is 6-pound wood. I try to shoot for 4 to 5-pound wood, and how that's use the balsa density calculator. It's per cubic foot, so this is 6 pounds per cubic foot. I try to stay under the 5-pound range. Now, for my crew that's watching on my channel, because I'm broadcasting that, I received a package today. You guys may or may not be interested in this, but the guys on my channel are really interested in this. We finally found it. And I'll give you the address, or you can PM me for the address where to get this stuff. Look at that. It's a 50-foot of Prather fuel line. This stuff has been unobtainium for 10 years. Well, we're going to open it up and look, make sure that I know what I'm talking about.
So the engines in these are all gas, are they?
Alcohol, nitromethane, and we use super techno plate and castor oil for the oiling, which is cloth. This looks right. I just can't get this. There we go. And this was a super fine. It was found by one of our guys. Yep, this is it. So there it is. We finally got it. It's the Prather surgical tubing.
One thing I've never understood with control line flying, they're not remote control, are they? Everything's controlled by wire.
Correct. We fly on up to 70-foot steel cables. They've now allowed in our event the use of, what the hell is the name of that? Spectra lines, which is a fishing line that, I don't know, it's some type of poly, it's, composite line or whatever that will pull 100 pounds. So how we determine the length or the pull of the model is whatever the model weighs, you have to pull 10 times its weight. So if this model, which is projected to weigh 52 ounces, let's see here, 52, that's 520. 520 divided by 16, going to have to pull 32.5 pounds. We put the handle in a pull tester, and then you pull the lines and the model. And if the bell crank could pull out, or the lines could break, your handle will break, or whatever. And so some of the guys fly models that are up to 70 and 80 ounces. So an 80-ounce model, which Al Rabe had a 102-ounce model, but let's say that's 800 ounces divided by 16. That's 50 pounds of pull on the line. In the wind, I'm a small guy, so I like the lighter models. In the wind, they don't pull you off balance.
So those huge models, they weigh less than a can of beans.
Yeah, basically. The wingspan is 5 foot. 58, wow. This one's 58, that one's 62, so we'll shoot in between. We'll just say 60-inch wingspan, and you're shooting for 1 ounce per inch. So at least I do. I've been building these 60 years. I have a 66-inch wingspan model up there that weighs 56 ounces. So you're shooting for the lightweight, because lightweight is horsepower. Less weight means more usable horsepower.
So when these are going around the pole, how fast do they actually go?
They're not going around the pole. You're holding them onto the lines. Let me get you a handle.
Kind of like a kite, except it's powered.
Yeah, not really. This is a control handle here. You have a safety thong in case the line breaks. You let go of the handle. Put your wrist in like so. Then you connect the steel cables up to this, and you have to pull the whole thing. So you're holding onto the model. This is up, that is down. And we go through a series of maneuvers, which is takeoff and level flight, Then reverse wing over, you go over the top. I've got videos on my channel over the top, then pull out upside down, go half a lap, then over the top, then pull out right side up. Then 3 inside loops, then 6 laps of inverted flight, then 3 outside loops, and then pull out into the upright, then 2 inside squares, and then 2 outside squares, then 2 triangular loops, then you do 2 figure eights like so, and then you fly there's 2 laps between each maneuver, then you do 2 square eights like so, and then you do 2 vertical eights, which is like so, and then you do an hourglass, just 1 hourglass, up over to the 90 and then down, and then you do a 4-leaf clover, and you come up and around, and then down, and then up and around, and it's judged by who can do it to the precise dimensions of the rule book. And the worlds are going to be at Muncie next year, so it's going to be something to see. Everybody from all over the world will be coming here to fly to get the world championship title.
Wow.
So
Thank you so much, Sparky. That's like, the whole point of this show is showing different areas of the modeling world and the passion. Those models are just incredible. Hopefully, if you can join us next week and take a deeper dive into one of them, that would be awesome.
no problem.
Okay, no worries. Let's move on. Sprue and Glue.
No.
R2!
Come on, as if I could leave R2
I'm
out.
not ready. Honestly, I'm not ready.
Okay, Lindsay,
Yeah, okay then, yeah.
you sure?
Yeah.
Let's go, Lindsay. Hi, Lindsay. Welcome to the show. What have you got for us this week, mate?
Well, it's my Harradyne fleet.
Ooh.
General webcam.
Oh my
God.
Not really see much. Hang on. It's huge.
Oh, wow.
Now,
Yeah, fantastic.
this lorry is a very, very special thing to me. I built it for my father. It was a complete replica of his truck, the last truck he ever drove before he retired. He was 72 when he retired.
Oh.
And so I took it from a lot of photographs he had, and I was building it, and I was going to give it to him on his birthday, but unfortunately he passed away a week before his birthday.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. So it's the unit is a Hella kit. Let's see if I can get this down here. It's the unit is actually a Hella kit. The trailer is a Taglieri. I did a lot of alterations to it, and I had to buy all different kinds of spares and everything else. So as you can see, let's try now. This is all sprayed. It's got all the airlines at the back. They're not connected at the moment because it's not on a diode base. All this load that you can see, I've made every single one of these crates. They're made from what they call spruce. I just made all the packing cases. As you can see, I made every single one of them, all the way across the truck. The whole project actually took me, I think it was 19 months. But I've got the straps to it and everything else, some CTM straps that came from Czechoslovakia. But like I say, when he died, I just didn't have no heart to kind of finish it. I was nearly there just to put the straps on, wrap it up in its box, in the paper, and take it to him. But unfortunately, like I said, he passed away.
That's so sad.
Dude,
Yeah.
I know he would have been proud of that.
And also, there was two extras. One, let's see if I can move this back. This one is a 1/24th MHA kit, a Bedford. Now, the whole of the back end is completely scratch built, which I did myself, with all the boards, the actual bed I scratch built, and everything else. So that's that one. I'm trying to keep it in shot. Everything else. So that's that one. Then I made another one, which was a conversion into a OX. It's the same kit as that, same front cab, but the whole front end is different. It's a resin kit you can buy. So it's a bit hard to get them in. So yeah. What was these? So this is my little Harradine fleet. The camera's not doing them justice. Let's just put it that way. So
They never do, though, do they?
no. So like, let's try and get in a bit closer. So that's those.
They are gorgeous.
Fantastic work, Lindsay.
Absolutely amazing work, Lindsay. So how long did it take you to build those in total?
Well, it's like I say, the Arctic took me 19 months. And the two smaller trucks, I did these after he died, because I just wanted to make a fleet of it. I'd say this one in the front here, I think this was probably about 4 months. And about the same for the second one. But the kits, the conversion kit is this one. Which is this.
Oh, wow.
And these are over £65 each, these things.
Incredible stuff. And also you got to do some scratch building on it, which is just one of my personal favourite things to do. But that back lorry, it wouldn't look amiss for Harrison Ford to be running across the top of it, looking for the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Those crates are just so realistic. Lindsay, thank you so much for showing us your stuff again, mate. Absolutely glorious. We are going to swiftly, we've got a load of people waiting in the green room right now, so we're going to move on quite quickly tonight to get everyone fitted in. So
well, I'm going to drop out into the chat.
Okay, mate. Thank you, Lindsay. We are going to go next to Connie, wherever she's gone. Connie.
Here.
Let me grab you. There you are. Boop. Connie,
I'll show off one of my original.
Oh, wow.
Oh, fantastic. Great design.
God damn.
Stunning.
Outstanding.
That's one of the, it started out as a Reaper miniature, just your basic gray. And
Is that a
I'm not sure
casting?
which one it is. But unfortunately, the metallic of the white doesn't show up as well on camera.
think Sparky's
As it
asking if
does.
that's a cast.
Is that a casting?
No, it's a plastic model that I bought.
Oh,
And I was doing a series of elemental dragons, and this was ice.
That is beautiful.
So,
And
I do like the fact that you've used ice crystals in the base.
yeah,
so Connie, what is your paint of choice for when you're doing these? What kind of paint do you use?
I use a mixture. I have Vallejo, the game color, because that's just where I started. But some of my favorite metallic paints are by a company out of California called Turbo Dork. They have both metallics and they have color shifts.
Oh.
I've never seen them in the UK, so that must be an American brand, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think they're out of California. But I've also have like Army Painter, game, just whatever color. Let me see.
have you looked
'Cause
into
this
any
was another
creative?
one that I did.
Fire.
Yeah, this was fire. And that was my first attempt at a lava base.
That looks real.
Have you looked at any Createx paints?
I haven't. I've used some of their airbrush cleaners. But I don't airbrush much. Most of my painting, pretty much all of my painting so far is brush paint. I'll use my airbrush for priming. But there you can kind of see the shimmer of the metallic on that wing.
So when you get the base kit of this, what is the cost of one of those dragons initially?
Let's see here. Let me stand up. Stand up on a swivel chair if I don't kill myself.
It's just a nice idea to get an
yeah.
idea of the cost of these things for anyone getting into the hobby. Or
I'll show you one of the ones I started with. Oops, nope, not that one. That one's clear. I need a gray one.
ladies and gentlemen, we have smashed last week's viewership. We topped out at 20 viewers last week. We are currently on 35 viewers. So thank you everyone for watching.
Yes.
Check
Okay, here's a good one to start with. That's basically where I start. And these range, I think they went up in price. They're less than $20 for, and let's see, centimeter side. Yeah, they're about 12 centimeters tall. And they come with a base. This one has a clear base, so it looks like he's flying. And they do come pre-primed, so you can pretty much just paint them straight out of the box.
That's awesome. I've not seen them in this country at any of the
Yeah.
model shops in
Well,
York.
this is Dungeons and Dragons line. From WizKids.
Right.
They're out of California. I think you can order them on Amazon. Like I said, they just, they're pretty much ready to paint. And
Now, the big question is, Connie, how long from beginning to end does it take to finish one of those?
Ooh.
I know
Depending
it's a
on the
big,
amount of,
difficult question because I don't think any modeler is ever finished with their models.
let's see. I did this one over about 2 weeks, so maybe about 24 hours if you added everything together.
So an excellent model to get people into the hobby, really. I think
Yeah,
it looks
and like I
great.
said, and it actually got me into That's how I got into it, because I wanted to add to my collection of figures. And I said, well, I said, why don't I just start painting some? Then I got into printing. And some of my favorites are these little guys that I 3D print.
So that's 3D printed.
And I can,
Excellent.
yeah, that's 3D printed and primed, and I can paint one this size in 4 to 6 hours. I don't think, yeah, I've got one here started. Yeah, same one. So, I'm not quite finished with it. I haven't done, highlights or details.
So when these are fresh off the 3D printer, what's the detail like on them? Is it fine detail, or is there like the making marks on it where it layers it and layers it and layers it?
Depending on the printer. These are resin printed, so I have very few of the layer lines. You may have a few of the sprue marks, where they've attached. Like there's one right there. You can just barely see it. But there's very little cleanup because, like I said, this is what they call the resin photo resin. Let's see, I do have. Oops. Oh shoot, I moved her. Now this model is slightly different. She was printed on a filament printer. And particularly on her face, you can see a lot of the resin or the layer lines on her. So when it comes to paint, for figurines and stuff like that, I much prefer a resin printer than for a filament printer.
Connie, those are amazing models. Thank you for showing us them. Unless you want to show us some more, that's great.
No, like I
I'll
said,
save some for next week.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
next week
I'm
I'll
gonna move
work,
on.
but the next time I'm at home.
Well, I'll be harassing you all week to take part in next week's show. So.
Unfortunately, I'll be at work though.
Okay, no problem. Let's move on. I think, MP, I know you're waiting in the wings there. Let's go. Sprue and glue. Sprue, you ready?
Go on then.
I can't wait for this. No show would be
Yeah.
complete with a little bit of Star Wars. So.
Oh yeah, I want to see R2.
Oh, looky!
And I'll drop into chat and make room for somebody else.
We've got Penny who wanted to be on this week. Penny, if you want to come on this week, you sure can. Just hit the link and join us. Also, Jess is still hanging about there in the background. Jess, get in here. Sprue, over to you, my friend.
Yeah, well, this is a kit that was a part work, so I didn't make the actual parts. This came over a 2-year period. If I remember right, I can't remember exactly how many issues it was. I think he took around 140 issues, maybe less, 130 maybe. And each week you got a bit here and a bit there, and literally everything in this. I'll show you the insides in a moment, but literally this was the final result of an R2-D2 that was made around 5, 6, maybe 7 years ago. And it took me 2 years to get all the parts together and put it all together. And it was a very expensive kit, to say the least. But I'm an avid Star Wars, especially R2-D2 fan. I love anything R2-D2. And I've never actually powered this up. Never. It's never had a battery in it. So if it works, it works. If it don't, I don't care. But what I do like...
Are you about to put a battery in it?
No, I haven't. Believe it or not, one battery for this is £40. One battery, and it needs more than one. And it came with little hidden extras like this. And in this side, we ended up with his manipulators. Oh, I've got chunky fingers, so you'll have to excuse me, but there's his little blowtorch, and that was his Jiminy cricket tool, and he's got extending arms.
GMC Joe Souza says it would be great if it could serve cocktails.
Oh, wouldn't it? But there's hidey holes all over this thing, literally. But this particular one was based from the movie Return of the Jedi, because in the top of his head, if I can do
Got the
this,
bolt.
just bear with me a moment. Right, that panel there, I'm not going to force it, but that panel there is where a lightsaber sits. And while he's doing his movements and whatnot, that panel opens up and up comes a lightsaber.
Oh, wow.
Which is here. This is the lightsaber that you actually got with the kit.
Oh, very cool.
That's cute. That's so cute.
Now, if you bear with me, I will remove his bonds, to which I have to put all this away so I don't break anything off. Get in. Yeah. That. So if I lift his chrome up, come on, up, a little bit more, come on. See what you put me to. And you know who I'm talking to.
Sprue, you'll have to let me know what batteries that takes, because I've got literally hundreds of RC batteries here, and they've got to be a pretty standard one. So let me know what they are, and I'll get some to you.
So, all
That
right.
has a right to be working.
Oh,
I can't see an
let
R2D2
me
not.
just put him down there a minute. So, like I said, this was a part works, and each month you got either a piece of frame or a bit of the electronics, a bit much like what you get now with the part works kits. And in there, everything works. Literally everything. That's the tube there for the lightsaber from the top here. It's not going to open for me.
I'm guessing with the remote control, you can make the lightsaber pop out.
There is no remote. It was activated by your mobile phone.
Right, set an app on your phone. Right.
Yeah, which now no longer exists.
Oh,
So
such a shame.
That was the internals for the dome. So to keep him safe, I'm going to turn him upside down. But all these little panels that you see on the R2 actually work, all of them, including the little eyeball there, which is a camera. So you can actually see what he is seeing. And then let me just lift that up and bring him back up.
Sprue, Paul Di Tommaso's just said he believes that R2 unit takes 6 18650 batteries. Now, I'll talk to you after the show, get your address, because I've got literally 200 18650 batteries.
Oh, wow. They are 18650s.
Yeah, I can supply you those fully charged, mate.
So even though it's got rubber grip wheels, the wheels are on alloy castings, and there's even a bump stop. So if it goes wrong somewhere, it will automatically hit that and then do an about turn and reverse. Now, inside this thing, I call it a thing. This is my pride and joy. This is my pride and joy. Let me take out the head control. So this is inside R2 himself. And in there, as you can see, is all the gubbins to make him run. And you had to build all the framework and everything. Everything in there came on a weekly basis. So
50s, you can still get something comparable to this on a fan home website. Trust
yes,
me,
Fan Home
I
now
looked at
do
it. You can still get it.
Yes, it is now available on Fan Home. This wasn't a Fan Home product. This is a lot older than then. And this here, this control unit here, is the bump stop for the head. This is what stops the head from doing a 360 and snapping all your cables. And it literally, that goes in there, you lock it in. That piece sits inside the helmet or the dome or whatever, and you lock it into these teeth here on this piece here, and it's an amazing piece of kit.
I'm absolutely stunned and jealous that you've got that. I want that. I want it. But I'll send you the batteries, my friend, because I want to see that working.
Dude, really?
Yeah, we're going to send you a. It's just a fine piece of engineering. So I've got a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind, Sprue.
Yeah, by all means.
When you first set out to build this, did you understand that it would take 2 years and a couple of £1,000 for all
I
the?
didn't care.
You knew what you were getting into,
I did not care.
right? It's R2 after all.
This is R2.
Yeah.
The best ever astromech in the world. Whether it be real or fantasy, this is mine. I actually tried to get hold of the ultimate home movie R2 as well, and I was unfortunately unlucky enough not to get one. They made it back in the early 2000s, and it played CDs and DVDs and all sorts.
Okay.
It was like a walkabout video system. It was brilliant.
Amazing. So the company that originally made that, have they gone bust or what's happened? You said
This
it was out
company.
after it.
This company no longer exists. Yeah, this company no longer exists that made this one. This was done by Hachette.
Amazing. Sprue, thank you so much for showing us that. I'm so going to use that image on the outro now. Thank you, Sprue. Okay, let's move on. We got MP. He's been waiting ages to get on, so I am going to drop MP in right now. Let me grab him and drop him in. There we go. We've got GMC Joe waiting to slip in as well. We'll get to you in a moment, Joe.
Like I said, I'll drop down into chat and leave space to somebody else.
Okay, Connie, thank you so much.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
that was Connie, everyone. Connie, make sure you put a link in the chat, please,
Oh, okay.
to your page, so people can subscribe. I encourage everyone, please do try and subscribe to everyone who takes part in this show. The likes and the subscriptions, they encourage us to do more and do more shows. So please do. MP, take it away, my friend.
Well, Terry, hello in chat. Today I'm going, just I say in another live stream, I'm going to show you my first old kit from Matchbox. This is one of them, my first, the Heinkel 126. This is from the campaign in the North Africa used by Rommel, the Africa Corps. This is painting by brush, spot by spot. It's
that small scale again. I just don't know how you guys can do the 1:72.
Yes,
I
this
really
is
don't.
1/72 scale, the old kits from Matchbox. You can
That
see.
is absolutely outstanding work. I do love the camo detail.
Yes, this is everything by brush. The stripe in white, the antenna in scratch. This was one of my first.
And is that hand painted or sprayed?
Hand painting. This is my brush. The camouflage is spot by spot. You can see here. I make some research, then I recreate the camouflage by hand.
Incredible.
This is another one. This is the Arado 1960. This is a float plane. This is from the old Airfix. This plane was used in the heavy cruiser, the Bismarck, one of my favorite warships, and this feels part of the fleet of Bismarck.
Do you know, I'm pretty sure I watched a documentary where they went down to the Bismarck and they actually got in the hangar where the plane was and saw parts of the plane still in the
Yes,
hangar.
they have a hangar in the cruiser with a top. They recoil lines, and then they have the catapults to launch these planes. These planes they are used for reconnaissance and for attack. They have bombs in the wings. You can see little bombs here.
Yeah.
And they have it here in the wings, the machine guns. They are here in the front.
So with that being one of the old Airfix molds, was there much of a problem when you put that together with things not fitting?
No, in this case, no problem. And for example, the Henschel, the Matchbox, is more older than this, the Airfix, and have more clean molds than this, the Airfix. Is more older, but is better in the injection mold.
Right. That's
Incredible
actually
one,
interesting.
The other one to change subjects. This was one of my first jet planes, the Gloucester Javelin MK9 172 scale with the RAF camouflage.
That is very nice.
Again, with that hand painted?
No, this is airbrush. One of my firsts in airbrush.
Very nice.
I can never tell when your planes are sprayed or hand painted because they're just
Yes,
so good.
you can see I put here side by side. This is hand painting and this is airbrush. You can see, and the Henschel is more difficult than this.
You see, I've got an Arado, but mine's got the single float.
Yes, I see. It's another version.
Yes,
They have two.
very nice work. Can I
Thank
ask
you.
you how long the camo took on the other one? How long did you spend on doing the other camo?
This one,
No, the other one.
the Henschel.
Yes.
This Henschel, I from the start to finish, build, painting, and weathering, varnish too. I make this model in 1 week.
And what about the other one, the Matchbox kit?
This is the Matchbox, the Henschel.
No, that's the Arado.
No, the Arado is this
That's
one.
the radar there.
The Arado is the
Yeah, the other one is the one I'm on about.
the jet plane.
No, that one there in your hand now.
No, this is the Arado 196. These 2 weeks
The
for
one with
beginning to
the one with the spotty camo.
the spotty camo. 1 week. I from
You
start to
spent a
finish.
week on that.
In 1 week, I built this.
Well, they are fiddly, Sprue. 1 to 72, such a small scale.
I'm
I'd need a microscope.
I'm amazed how fast he did it.
MP, thank you so much for showing us your models. Absolutely awesome stuff again.
Awesome, dude.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you, David.
Will you be joining us again next week?
Yes, I'm joining. with
Excellent.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting. I'm reverting the streams for another guy. Okay.
Excellent.
I'm going to put the chat.
Okay, I'm going to move
All
on. We got GMC Joe Souza from
Okay,
Rusty, Rhode Island, joining us. Everybody, hey Joe.
Okay.
Hey, Joe.
We can't hear
You
you.
can. You
Start
better
again,
let
Joe.
them
You're
out.
on mute.
I suffocate.
Start
That's
again,
an-
Joe. You're on mute.
Am I on mute? Can you hear me
Well,
now?
I've taken you off now. Your dog was barking, so I put you on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, gotcha.
I asked if you had Prince Albert in the can. If you do, please let him out. He might suffocate. That's an old joke. People
You
used
might
to
get
call,
metal fatigue.
they used to call the store and ask if you had Prince Albert in the can. Then
I don't even know what that is. What is Prince Albert in a can?
it's a tobacco.
Ah,
So we got a couple of old sprayers to start off with. These are insecticide sprayers. This one's total brass. This was my grandfather's. And this one I bought over at a flea market. This one was supposed to be for like flies. You would literally spray DDT around your house.
Wow.
Yeah. It's no wonder we're so such a healthy.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's bringing choppers out.
The machete. Most of these tools were used in this area. Obviously, before power tools. Sickle. This paintbrush, made in Italy. It's a wallpaper brush. Turn of the century. When I'm going through the flea markets, I look at stuff like this, and then I go home and I look it up, and I looked up the manufacturer and everything, and it's interesting. Old carpenter squares. Mostly, like I say, this stuff is early 1900s. This here, though, dates back a couple of hundred years. It's just a block, plain, mid 1800s. This came out of a house that we tore down. It was in the attic, along with a couple of other tools, and we all grabbed them up before the house got torn down. This was up to this little your hand drill.
Nice.
If you had to cut wood back in the day,
I remember my dad having one of those.
those guys had arms the size of my legs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then this saw was probably more common. Everybody saw these back in the day, the bow saw. And
Yeah, they used to be stood by an A-frame, didn't they?
they call them bow saws here. I'm sure there's different names for them in different places.
Somebody's asked a question of you, buddy. Where
This little-
in the States are you?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
New Fenris has asked a question from you. Where in the US are you?
I'm in Rhode Island, which is between New York, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. We are the smallest state in the United States, next to Delaware. Smallest state with the biggest corruption.
I'm not surprised with some of them tools.
Little drill, hand drill. You would use the small, woodwork. Now this is a plumber tool, and this was the first
Pipe cutter.
version of this. But on this model, you literally have to pull this trigger down and turn the wheel around. Let me see if I can get it up in here. This piece comes off. So if you want to tighten it, you had to take this piece apart to turn it, and you could get up under your sink and tighten the, and then to loosen it, you had to move the thing over. So this dates back, this is one of the first models from like the 50s.
Wow, the wrench.
Just make sure you're on the level. This is a pretty old bubble level here. I think the guy said it was like the 40s.
Wow.
This iron was supposed to be revolutionary because you could buy a bunch of heads and just take the handle off. So this would be on the stove, and you'd just go grab the hot one and put the cold one. So if you needed to do a lot of iron and fast, you might have several of these on the fire and just have one handle to keep changing it out. I had the little piece to go underneath it. This was just a digging tool. The handle's going on it, but I thought it was cool. Pretty much.
One of the things I love about this stuff, Joe, is that all of the older stuff, it's built to last, whereas nothing these days is anywhere near.
You kidding? That'll be around when I'm dust.
Nah.
I got a couple of these scales. Pretty much every business, whether you were selling. When I was a kid, they had these in the hardware stores, and you would take the nails out of barrels or bags or boxes and put them in the scale, weigh them up, and then, pay for it that way. And everything wasn't pre-packaged back then. I'm not that old. I mean, I'm 63, but I remember that. I've got a couple of these scales. But everything you bought, grain, fish, everything was weighed. These, I'm not sure why they have a harness and they're duals. It's like the guy wanted to be a cowboy or something. These are for, they're spanners for taking the pipe loose on the fire trucks. When they hook up the hoses to the fire pumpers.
Yep.
Oh, right.
It has like the little knobs on it. And this is for putting them on. Not sure why it's like this, but that's why I bought it, because somebody wanted to look like a cowboy out there, and it's dual spanners. Now, when I was a kid, this is why my hands are like vices right here, this thing, because this is what we had. We didn't have no damn weed whackers, man. The whole fence line. Man, I'll tell you, I could crush you with that hand, man. Now, now imagine if you had to be out in the field with this thing all day. The Grim Reaper here. Let me turn this way so the lights on.
Right.
It's kind of big. It's hard to see, but can you imagine cutting hay all day with this thing?
Goodness me.
And obviously they kept it sharp. So this is a sander, polisher, massager.
What?
Sander, polisher,
Okay, how does that work? Explain to us how that works. Man, you got some crazy stuff in the US.
Basically, you can put it on your back or something, and
Oh, wow.
and it still has the original instructions with it and everything, and it's got these pads that you put on it so it don't, I guess, scratch your back. But they advertise as a sander, polisher, and massager.
Wow.
This is it's not a Swiss Army knife, but it's the Virgin.
It's
And it's got everything, a fork. So you would take this as a Boy Scout knife, a very expensive one. There's
My dad had one of those,
yeah,
and the side panels were made out of bone.
I love the scissors. The scissors are really cool.
Yeah. Amazing. That's a proper Swiss Army knife.
This was just a handle from a trimmer, but I thought it was cool because it still had the name on it. So I grabbed it with see the handle on it. I don't know. It has the name of it. The edge is gone, obviously, but I guess the last thing I'll show you will be my drill set. It's over here. Let me just. This is a.
I think the handle goes to a push mower.
Can you see it in here? The hand drill.
Brace
Oh,
and
wow.
or hurdy
And then all the drill bits that go with it. Then I got the sharpen up my blades. A little bit of Sunoco household oil. Then the old tape measure I found. This is in a leather case.
Wow.
pull out an original tape measure. You wind it up. It doesn't have a spring. It's got a wind up. That's 50s. So that's my tool wall for today. Hope
No.
you guys
Thank you
enjoy
so
it.
much, Joe. You know, I'm loving that Americana. I really am.
You know, the funnest part, like I said, is to find out what the stuff was used for. When you find, like those spanners that I found, it took me about a month to figure out what they was. And then one day I was talking to a friend of mine who's a firefighter. He says, those are spanners. And then he told me what it was. I was like, oh, man. Who would have thought, huh? Somebody had a cowboy on the fire department.
Wow.
You know what the spike is for?
The spike.
The spike is called a marlin spike for untying rope. No,
This?
no, the other thing you had in your hand, the spanner. The long
Yeah.
end, the pointy end.
Mhm.
No, hold
The
it
other
up.
tool.
No, it's not. Never mind. I thought it was pointy.
No, you're thinking about for lining like steel workers use?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's just the handle to tighten up the hose. It was to
That other-
take the hose on and off.
That other handle you had is for a lawnmower. The T-wood.
Yeah, push edger. It says edger on it.
Yeah.
It says diamond, trimmer, and edger.
Yeah. I remember that because when I was a kid, I had to use something like that.
Well, we had a push mower, and
Wow.
that's how I learned to sharpen the blades. Otherwise, I'd be out there all day trying to cut the grass. So I learned how to take a file and sharpen up the real blades. Out from Rusty, Rhode Island.
Thank you so much, Joe. Any possibility you can join us for next week?
I'll see. Maybe we'll go out and look at one of my trucks.
Okay, well, unless anyone else comes in the green room, I am going to go next. So there we go. Some of you guys will have seen this before, but I just thought I'd show it because I'm really proud of it. Let me just get the batteries going, and
Yeah, let's see if
If
fly
you've
it off
seen-
the bench again.
this is the model that chewed my fingers off. It's such a long build. 2 summers now in. It is the Airfix 1:24 scale Mosquito. To my, apart from the plastic, which is so soft, it's unbelievable. To my mind, this is one of the best models that Airfix have ever made, and they need to re-release it because it's stunning. Now, if I press go on the remote control, we got landing lights on. We have. Don't think you see them. Underneath the wing is landing lights. I'm not going to lift her up because there's a risk of those propellers going and chopping my fingers off again. If you're wondering what I'm on about, I did a test run of this on a live stream, and everyone in the stream was screaming at me to mind my fingers. And stupid me, it flew off the desk, and I tried to catch it with my hands, and it chopped up. It did some serious damage to my fingers. That one down to the bone. It chopped straight through my fingernail. Just awful injuries. But if I lift this up, you can probably see, and I'll explain what's happened to the undercarriage in a moment. So my glasses just fall off. So
Pick the camera up.
I'll probably move the camera. Hang on, I've got bits dropping off all over the place now.
There we
So
go.
you can see the landing lights there. They actually cast a beam. So I was happy with that. I've used little lenses there to give it the correct effect for landing lights. Now, it's okay. It's just the covers which I'd unscrewed to show you the motors in there. What I was going to show you is ramping up. Now, it is the world's first full remote control 1:24 scale Mosquito. It will not fly. Sparky, my friend, has told me it won't fly, and I know it won't. It's far too heavy. It weighs something like 2.5 kilograms. But it will go across the ground very, very fast. Now, firstly, I'll show you the motors spinning up. And if I hold it down, she screams like a banshee. and that wasn't full speed. That was that was like 70%, and I am still scared to put it up to full speed because I don't know what's going to happen. I'll do that when we're outside and let it tear itself apart. So, as far as remote control goes, we've got tail move. We've got the rudder working. We've got the tail flaps working. We've got the ailerons working. Now, Sparky's going to tell me that's not working right, but I don't know.
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah. And then to add even more to it, we've got the lift flaps working as well.
I think Sparky will probably tell you he didn't do enough sanding.
Exactly.
Oh, man, every time I go on your channel, you got sandpaper, man.
Look, Sparky is the Bob Ross of sanding.
The sanding king.
No one can compare. So the first run of this out, it actually ripped the undercarriage clean off when it hit a curb. So that's a dead loss. The original Airfix undercarriage is in bits, and I have asked Airfix for a new undercarriage, and they've totally ignored me. So all of the battery and everything, it does fit in. It just I haven't screwed the underneath on yet. So I had to remake aluminium legs for it just to take the weight, because the stress on it. The last time I took it out, I've got video of this, and I promise I will put the videos out as soon as I get around to editing them. I've been so overworked at the moment with everything I'm doing. Well, not overworked. I enjoy it. I love modeling, and I'm wittering again, so I'll stop it. So yeah, those are that's it. It's a 1:24 world's first full remote control Airfix 1:24 scale Mosquito fighter bomber, and it's my pride and joy, really. So that's it.
It's nice.
Nice. For those that are in the chat, if you come, oi, who's moving that? Get back here. Those in the chat that are actually watching on my stream and Terry's stream, if you click on that link, you will see how not to test your aircraft on a bench.
Do you know, I knew you'd do this to me. I knew you'd do it, Spring. Yes. Oh, I am so going to get revenge.
Well, you had it on air for a reason, didn't you? I mean, you put it up on video. There must have been a reason why. You didn't have to put it up. I mean,
I didn't put it up. Sprue put it up.
no, I mean, originally, you did a live.
Dude, payback's a bitch, innit?
It is. Right, nobody else has joined us in the green room. Everyone watching this show, you can take part. The link is posted 1 hour before the show starts at the top of the chat and in the description. We're doing this again next Saturday at 9 p.m. I have to thank Sparky. I have to thank GMC Joe. I have to thank Sprue and Glue. I don't want to thank Sprue and Glue, but I'm thanking him anyway. Lindsay, thank you. Connie, thank you. MP, thank you for joining us. Everyone, thank you for joining us. Please, guys, before you go, everyone who's on the panel, everyone who's been watching, put your links into the chat for your channel, and please, everyone, subscribe. It's a great community we've got going here. I'm loving every week of watching people's passion on the show. It was a real pleasure having Sparky joining us. I think everyone will agree that anyone who can build something from scratch out of balsa and put that much time and effort into sanding is a blessing to the community. Sparky, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Right, I'm going to try and find the outro because I spent all this afternoon working on the outro, and I'm just getting used to this now. Let me get this outro going. 1 second. Lindsay, thank you, my friend.
Welcome.
Let me find the outro. Let me find it. Outro, there it is. Open. Are we ready for the outro?
That was
That's
good.
the stage. There we go.
Dankeschön.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Great stream. Awesome.